This story begins in South Suebia on the 1st of January, just after the New Year's celebration. Winter in Suebia officially begins at the sunrise of New Year's Day, a day which ordinarily follows the fiercest storms of a turbulent autumn. This New Year's Day was no exception. The fact that the beginning of winter is celebrated at all is truly a wonder, considering the biting cold and terrible blizzards of winter, the crescendo of which is the winter's dark, a time of continual darkness lasting for more than a month. A time when the creatures of night emerge from the depths of the sea and from the mountains, and from the thickest parts of the deep wood into which light cannot penetrate, and seek out the fulfillment of their cruel and morbid desires, free from the reprisal of the hated sun. It is a sign of people inured to hardship, violence, and conflict that winter is not only survived, but heralded as the most sacred and blessed time of year. The Ruticai, the tribe from which many of this story's heroes hail, are a curious tribe of warriors with a proud tradition of raiding other peoples each summer. This way of life goes back for nearly 1,000 years and predates any recorded history of the Ruticai, with the exception of the oral histories of their sorcerers. The Ruticai honored an unspoken agreement with the other tribes of Suebia, never to raid within the Suebian realm. But to the other 8 realms, the Ruticai were a scourge of the sea, a hated and feared enemy. The black sails of the Ruticai fleet and the deep, resonating moan of their Carnix horns were the harbinger of ruin and woe for all those who were cursed enough to have their senses shaken by the abrupt, ghostly appearance and deathly howl of those vessels of merciless plunder. But much to their chagrin, the ancient raiding tradition of the Ruticai was violently terminated 10 years ago when an unprovoked confederation of Aravir and Sabine tribesmen fell unexpectedly on the Ruticai while they slept in their villages by night, and slaughtered them by the hundred, leaving almost all of their elder warriors dead and their children orphaned. Though the Ruticai did not relent without a terrible struggle, their inescapable defeat culminated in a surrender in which 3 things were conceded in order to avoid their complete obliteration. First, the Ruticai would pay a tax to the Aravir each year at the end of winter dark. Second, the Ruticai would no longer keep any sailing ships. And third, whenever the Aravir summoned them, the Ruticai would fight alongside their new masters against whatever enemies the Confederation chose to oppose. A seething hatred for the Aravir and the Sabine tribesmen has been festering in the hearts of the Ruticai for a decade. The other tribes of Suebia are frightened of the aggressive Confederacy and look only to their own defense, ignoring the pitiable Ruticai. After their defeat, all of the old Ruticai vessels were brought ashore and scuttled, a humiliation that could never be forgotten. To make matters worse, all of the Ruticai sorcerers were slain in the massacre, with the exception of 1 child who was still in training. The Ruticai king and most of his jarls were lost as well, only the Jarl of Seaspear named Rogart having survived. Rogart was appointed king of the Ruticai in the Althing 10 years ago, and has remained the undisputed king ever since. Rogart used this opportunity to convert his tribe away from the old traditions to his faith in Votan, a little understood war god known to many Suebian tribes. A temple was soon erected at the Ruticai seat of power, Splinter Harbor. Being a warrior raider tribe, the Ruticai had little to no craftsmen or farmers on which to rely. For the last 10 grueling years, they've been eking out an existence, barely gathering enough resources to pay their taxes to the Aravir and to survive. In all those years, the Aravir have never called upon their vassals to come and fight in the name of the Confederacy, though, after winter is over, perhaps the banners will be summoned at long last.
I am Rasuil, a Ruticai warrior. The count of my age is 24 sons. From the beginnings of rememberings, the Ruticai have been hunters and shipbuilders, and our raiders sail these ships to plunder foreign tribes on faraway islands. Before my coming of age, my father was slain during a raid, as was decided by fate. In that year, fate was full of decisions, as this was to be our final raid. Months later, our tribe's fleet of ships was seized and destroyed by the nearby Aravir tribe and their army of sorcerers. A full third of our warriors fell in battle, including most of our wisest elders. Of my mother, I remember much less. I'm told she was a wanderer on occasion and was slain by bandits on a road many leagues north of our hamlet of Seaspear. The only memory of her I possess is her smiling at me after placing me atop a horse. This makes little sense to me, as we were never wealthy enough to own a horse. As an older orphan, I boarded with families of clanmates, never in any household for very long. During these times, I learned the basics of many trades, from hunting and lumber harvest to the making of arrows and candles and soap. I also learned how much there is to learn by quiet observation. As I grew to adulthood, my contemplations also matured and became a preoccupation with the future of the Ruticai tribe. It would not be easy to return to our old ways, and why would fate again choose to favor us? On our large home island, there are many other tribes. Perhaps we can learn from the elders of all tribes and not merely our own. The ways of farming and manufacture and commerce should not remain closed off from us. And while I have grown to be the strongest and fastest, I happily remain only one of many. Our numbers are sufficient to place meat on tables and defend villages from bandits, but against large foreign navies and the wielders of magic and the fates themselves, we remain defenseless.
I am Ivar the Unbowed. I am a Ruticai weaver, but not a weaver of wool and thread, but of blade edge, bone, and gore. A bloodletter, a killer, a real slayer whose blood has flowed for generation after generation through the veins of 100 Ruticai swordmasters and into my own blue veins. I am their vital and impeccable offspring. When they gaze down from the vaunted halls of Valhalla to heap praise upon their descendants, I am the one on whom they gaze. I will never surrender to any foe, for I cannot be defeated, only immortalized in legend. That is my destiny. I was only a boy when the Aravir attacked, too small to lift my blade against them. That night my father was sleeping when the Karniks blasted. I did my best to help him don his armor in time. They killed us by the 100. Unarmored men, freshly roused from sleep against the full-armed and armored might of the Confederate warriors. Flesh and blood is no match for steel. My home was burned to the ground. My new home was the Proving Grounds, a field of dirt and mud in Splinter Harbor where youths are taught to remember the sword and spear and to forget childish cowardice or womanly pity, or to fear pain as a beast does. We were taught to deal death swiftly and remorselessly, in the blink of an eye, without any hesitation. On the Proving Grounds, I crossed my blade against 100 Ruticai round shields, hard warriors all, and threw them to the ground in heaving, groaning masses of flesh and confusion. I became the favorite student of Master Sigurd, that wise and long-bearded teacher of the blade, axe, and spear, to which no stroke or parry is mysterious, to whom 1,000 strikes are known. I learned them all, and have never forgotten even one. Sigurd used to tell me each morning before training, one day your arm will rise against Aravir and strike them down. I pictured them in their richly gilded, warm homes, growing fat off boar meat and mead, weak-willed from the constant embrace of a woman. They think that they have bested us, and that they are better men than us. I pray that Sigurd has not misread the stars, for if that time truly comes, their boasts will stick in their throats like sawdust. Their veins will fill with ice. Their stinging tongues will retreat behind their coward teeth. The Aravir, who are afraid to face their enemies while they wake, will behold what I have become, how terrible and awesome I have become in the aftermath of their murderous debauchery. I will reap a toll upon them such as cannot be imagined. I will kill those cowards, kill and kill again, until the blood sticks inside my veins and I am no more. Open the gates of Valhalla! I am ready!
They call me Yoth, beetle-eyed,
It's a stupid name. Not the Yoth part, that's my real name. Beetlehide, though? They call me Beetlehide because of the armor I wear. But the armor isn't even made of beetles, it's scorpion leather. I wear it because that's my totem animal, the scorpion I mean. Calling me that isn't the first stupid thing my tribe has done. Back at the massacre, I lost everyone. My master, Sangir, mother and father, my older brothers, and even my sister. I learned to take care of myself. I even taught myself the rest of my sorcerer's training. That's not an easy thing to do. You see, sorcerers don't document their findings, or even how to do simple spells, because we keep our way of life a secret. So far, it's been very effective, except for the part where all the other sorcerers are dead. I am the last Ruticai sorcerer. My primordial magic dates back before any records. The workings of sorcery are, well, difficult to explain to simple men. All the world is full of spirits, large and small, and these spirits will obey you if you know how to talk to them. It's kind of like how you can tell a horse or a dog what to do, but horses and dogs can't really do much. But you can hardly imagine all the things that spirits can do. When I work my magic, I can feel how powerful these spirits are. Sometimes they're frightening, terrifying even. But you can't show any fear. They will know if you are afraid, and they won't respect you. If they don't respect you, well, I think you've heard the stories of what can happen. The stronger I get, the more kinds of spirits I learn to control. There are some spirits that are very strong. Those are the ones that they call the gods. Thing is though, there aren't any gods. There are only bigger and stronger spirits. Those are the ones that the sorcerers can't seem to control. Yet. Have you heard of forbidden magic? That's the magic that we know how to use, but we choose not to. Troll magic is the most interesting. I do know how it works. Of course, it's forbidden, but it sure would be smart if I used just a little bit to help my tribe. Those idiots will never figure a way out of this shit situation. Things are bad now since the Aravir took over, but I think I know a way I can make a difference. I just have to convince the others.